Hi everyone, welcome to the Games Insider show of Radio Naira WCMC FM HD4. And we have Stan Minasov from AppMagic today with us. And if you not know that he's from AppMagic, so every developer definitely would be excited to know more insights about AppMagic. So for the listeners who may not be familiar with AppMagic, and could you briefly introduce like what AppMagic can do and what insights we can have from AppMagic?
Absolutely. First of all, thank you for having me today. Really appreciate that. AppMagic is an analytical surface for analyzing mobile markets, be it mobile, console, or PC. So it's a cross-platform solution, a one-stop shop for anything you want to do with the game, from ideation and first steps through user acquisition and up to live ops and monetization. So that's basically it.
Okay, and how AppMagic for an indie developers who are new to the industry, and the people who are like very senior and they have developed a lot of games. However, it's most important for everyone is to know the data of the successful games, or on what rank or what revenues are they making. So how AppMagic is helping, is there any balance for an indie developers to see these features importantly without missing, and what mistakes usually the small developers do while seeing the data or analyzing it?
That's a really good question. So I'd say first and foremost, we as a company have the widest free functionality available. And for that reason is that we really want to work with indie developers and help them do the data decision-driven things they want to introduce into the games. At the same time, we have more than 25 different tools in the platform. We are currently the most powerful and the most versatile solution of this kind. And that means that we also can cater to very different audience, from indie developers, as you've mentioned, and to senior developers who really want to go deep down, to have all the details and know what is going on. I'd say in general, usually when we are talking about indie developers, one of the mistakes we see happening is that they pay too much attention to setting, to art style, to the things that on the surface look very important. But we did a lot of research, and it seems that choosing the right niche, understanding the success rate, and understanding what might be the right monetization, user acquisition, and scaling of the game is much more important than actually choosing, say, a party setting compared to cyberpunk or sci-fi. I mean, that's still important and super exciting, but not so much for the success of the game itself.
Okay, if you're analyzing a lot of apps globally,
Yeah.
so what is like the biggest trends you're seeing right now in the market?
Okay, so I'd say one of the biggest trends we've seen for the last several years is definitely inclining more towards live ops and monetization. So we see that almost 98% of the overall revenue going through the market goes from mature games, the one that were developed before 2024, 2025. In these games, they usually know what they are doing, so they are doubling down on monetizing already existing audience. It's not so much about user acquisition, it's much more about running live ops as it should, having a lot of events, having a lot of engagement with the players, and monetizing them right.
Absolutely. And if you look at the features which AppMagic has, I think it's so vast to filtering, if it's like worldwide, or if you look at the genre, or if you look at the countries to, target, what countries do you see that they're doing really good in mobile market?
That's a great question, and I'd say it really heavily depends on the niche or genre you're working with. Say, if we're talking about mid-core, you definitely want to focus on, say, the US, Canada, the UK, or in some cases, China, South Korea, and Japan, because it really depends on where you're from and what type of expertise you have.
Definitely.
At the same time, if we're talking about hyper casual or hybrid casual, or in general games monetized by ads,
Yeah.
it's much wiser to focus on the markets that have a lot of audience, a lot of interest. But this audience should be not so much inclined into in-app purchases, but rather being able to watch the ads.
Definitely. And how is it helping, like AppMagic, how is it helping through soft launches? What kind of data it is helping, developers? Because initially, I don't think there is any user acquisitions, or there is no much more downloads we
Yeah.
see. So initially, how is it helping for soft launches, and how it is helping developers to know, okay, this is the right time. I should go ahead with the launch.
Okay, that's a really good question. So there are several tools at AppMagic who are focusing on soft launches and helping the developers understand what should be the best strategy, when to launch, and how to launch. First of all, we have top charts and we have app comparison that helps to understand the overall market situation, what is happening, who's growing, just to have the bird's eye view. Then you can go deeper in the features like period comparison or success rate. Might help you to find what might be the exact trend going on, what is the exact niche, and the success rate in this niche you want to work with. And then we have a dedicated tool that is basically called Top Soft Launches, and it using a pretty difficult methodology. It analyzes the whole market and new games launched by big and small studios both, in order for you to be able to say, okay, so maybe this is the niche I'm looking in, but what are the main strategies for launching new titles? What are the countries I should launch into? What is the user acquisition campaign, or should there be any that you mentioned? So it gives you a whole world eye view of what is happening and what might be the best strategy for your game.
And if you want to give like more insights about live ops and monetizations for the game through AppMagic, how can a developer explore about it?
So live ops and monetization is definitely one of the spaces we developed a lot during the last couple of years, just because the trends and interest we've seen. We have several tools both for analyzing live ops and monetization, with live ops in live ops and updates calendar and live ops advanced search. And what we do, we manually track more than 150 games across all the markets, top grossing games, by hand. So there are a team of 50 professionals. They have expertise in the gaming industry, and they track manually what is happening. What are the events running? They do business analysis. What these events how these events might impact the metrics. What are the revenue spikes appearing, and which events brought majority of the revenue?
Right.
The same goes for monetization. So we know what is happening in the biggest games, what are the in-app purchases, what are the offers appearing. And just this week, we launched a new tool in this toolset that is called in-app revenue distribution. And what it does, it helps also to understand what exactly were type of offers that were driving the majority of the revenue, or which one of them were both the most frequent. So right now you can see the whole picture. You can see the live ops, you can see the events running in one game or several games at once. You can see what were the offers and filter the one that you are looking into based on price range, based on type, and based on niche. And then you can go even deeper and understand what is the distribution of the revenue based on these offers. And then, of course, use it and implement in your game right.
Basically, it's like giving a DNA of the game.
Exactly.
The whole
That's
thing
true.
about the game. So the last question I would like to ask you: how AppMagic is collecting data about or giving insights about for the PC games? We were talking about the mobile, but we also know that it is for the PC games as well.
Yeah.
So how can you give some insights on that?
Absolutely. Would be glad to. So we launched Steam late last year, and we currently actively developing and improving it. Important to mention that we have a totally different methodology compared to all the other solutions in the market, which means that the accuracy of these estimates is much, much better. Of course, as usual, we started with the basic set, revenue, downloads, understanding what type of games are launched. Recently, just last week, we also launched all the information needed about wish lists, so the number of active wish lists, the overall sum of the wish lists, as well as the new metric, converted wish lists. And that's, I'd say, is the most important metric you can use for the marketing of the Steam game, because then you can understand if you accumulate a number of wish lists and then you go into global, what number of these wish lists will be converted into the sales day one? What will be converted in a week? So what will be this distribution and what type of ROI can you expect? So that is something that is not available in the market right now. You cannot calculate it, and that is something we really worked hard on in order to solve this use case and help all the developers out there.
Definitely, I think I would say that it's one-stop solution.
Yeah,
for mobile
that is true.
And also for the PC. So you are covering like the AppMagic is covering the whole data for mobile games as well as the PC games.
That is right, and you put it absolutely right. That's the whole idea. We're a one-stop shop where you can analyze mobile and PC. Regarding of the platform, and of course we're looking into the consoles as well, just between us, a big secret, but we have something prepared for you for the second half of this year, so stay tuned.
Wow.
But overall, the whole idea is to become a cross-platform solution where you can analyze any game from ideation problem to the user acquisition or marketing, and to the live ops, operating, and monetization. Basically, the whole toolset you might need when developing a game.
Thank you, Stan. So before we end this podcast, would like to know, one advice which you would like to give to the developers who are using AppMagic or not using AppMagic. Basically how they should be, using. They should use the game analytics. That's the soul of any game, from the ideation to the, publishing it. So what kind of advice you would like to give it to the developers?
Okay, so my advice might be a little bit controversial, so stay with me. On the one hand, I'd say, and I'm a data guy, so I'm inclined to say though. Try to analyze first and spend your time with research without falling into some new shiny trends, new shiny things. We've seen a lot of situations when there is a new game that became a real hit, and there are a lot of, like, hundreds of copycats appearing in half a year. And believe me, majority of these games, like hundreds and hundreds of them, they will end up in the graveyard of the overall industry. So they will not raise enough money to be profitable. So be really smart about the things you're doing, research really, really deep, and then spend your time implementing. So save resources by using the right tools. At the same time, I'd say in a lot of cases, and it's just not just about games, it's also about business in general. If you know in advance what type of challenges you will face as a businessman, as a game developer, I'd say in a lot of cases, people would not go in these businesses at all.
Yeah.
It's just too difficult. And you have to be a little bit crazy, to be honest, in order to do it. So stay crazy. Use the data, be careful about it, be smart, but at the same time, really believe in what you're doing, because I think that in the end, this industry is based on two pillars: the overall data and very structural analysis, and being very passionate and a little bit crazy. So just try to combine these two.
It's a combination.
Exactly, the best of two worlds.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Stan. Thank you for being in our show, The Games Insider. And this is your
Thanks
host,
a lot.
Vaishnavi.